Hi guys, it's Bethany, your crafty BFF, coming on today with a tutorial. So a while back, I made this little DIY loaded bag from basically a 12 by 12 piece of cardstock. Um, so this is what you would call a loaded bag, and I made this for a Valentine's Day rack that I'm going to send out. Love how it came out. I have decided to do a winter themed swap, and this is the project that we're going to make. So I'm going to teach you how I made it, because one of the rules, requirements, whatever, of the swap is that you have to follow this tutorial, because I want everyone's loaded bag holder to be the same size and be able to fit the same amount of goodies. So there's no exceptions, no substitutes. You can't. I don't want you to go to the store and buy like one of those gift bags and then fold it up, because it's not going to be the same size. I've this has 3 pockets. In fact, here, let me show you this one. Oops, there's my ruler. Without any goodies in it, I was just practicing. There's actually 3 pockets. So you have this tall 8-inch pocket here at the top that you can see can hold quite a bit of stuff. Then we have an expandable pocket here on the front, and then you also have a regular pocket here on the front, in front of the expandable pocket. So I'm gonna show you how to make this, and yeah, let's go ahead and get started. Let me show you this one real quick. I'll take out the little goodies that I have in here so I can show you. Let's see how I decorated this. So this was a non-directional paper, which I have a disclaimer about. If you're gonna use a directional paper, meaning that the print goes one way, and when you go to fold the bottom up for this, your print is going to be upside down. So if it bugs you as much as it bugs me, then you can do what I did and add like a shaker here on the front. I just added a tool shaker with a piece of cardstock to cover up that upside down font. Or you could just cut a piece of paper to mat this front pocket here. So it's pretty easy. I'm going to show you 2 ways to make this. Because the first option is to make it just like this, out of your designer, print pattern paper. So I chose this design. This is Simple Stories Winter Wonder. I've been dying to play with this collection, and that's what inspired me to host this winter themed swap. And so anyways, I chose this one. It's non-directional, which means when I go to fold it up, like so, you're not going to notice that the snowflakes are upside down. I wanted to show you on a directional paper like this one, say when you go to fold it up, your snowmen are going to be upside down. So like I was saying, if that's going to bother you, I will show you, I'll give you the measurements to cut a mat and just place it there on the front, and then you can have 2 different papers or the same paper, whatever your little heart desires. Just like that would bug the crap out of me with those snowmen being upside down. So I thought I'd add that into the tutorial to show you how that works. Okay, so this first way that we're going to make it, the 2 ways that we're going to make it is that as your base, as your main base, is you're going to use the pattern paper from a collection. a 12 by 12 piece like so. And then the second option I'm going to show you is using a 12 by 12 solid color cardstock and then cutting matting pieces to decorate it. I don't want any plain bags. I want patterned paper. Whether you want to do it like this to make the whole thing out of the patterned paper, or if you want to do it this way and add your patterned paper with mats, that's fine, but I don't want any plain colored loaded bags because we're using our collections, right? Okay. Makes sense? I hope so. Good. So let's go ahead and get into this first option that you have using the pattern paper. I always want to say the designer paper as the whole, loaded bag. So we're going to start by cutting our branding strip off of our 12 by 12. Excuse the sniffles and the cough, please. That's just my life. So I want the snowflake print to be on the outside of my bag, and this to be on the inside. Honestly, you can use single-sided paper and nobody's going to care that it's plain on the inside, but it does add, I think, a little something to have a double-sided 12 by 12 for this project, just to have that little extra decoration on the inside. But like I said, it doesn't really matter. So what we're going to do, okay, we're not doing any fancy measurements or anything just yet. We're going to take our left and our right sides and we're going to fold them so that they are meeting in the middle. But here's the thing, okay? We want this pocket to be as wide as we can get it, which is going to be 5 7/8 of an inch wide, okay? So because this half and this half, they're only going to overlap about 1/8 of an inch. And that's all you need. You don't need it to, you don't need a 1/2 inch. You don't need any of that. Just a nice little 1/8 of an inch. What would you call that? Overlap. That's what it's called. Okay, so you want about 1/8 of an inch overlap when you're folding this paper here in the middle. I'm just going slow to make sure everybody understands. We want this to be as wide as possible so our goodies can fit in here. Doing it this way, I know for sure my A7 envelope and my A7 cello bags can fit in here. So that's how I want you to make it, so that you can fit something that wide inside both of the pockets. So here we have about, I know it's hard to see, but I'm gonna hold it up here so you can see there's just a tiny 1/8 of an inch that's overlapping right there. And I'm gonna go ahead and varnish this down, and then varnish this side down. Make our creases nice and straight. Well, I didn't make it real perfect there. Let me fix that real quick. That's a little better, I think. Okay, now we're gonna just glue that very tiny little edge right here. Just and I know it seems crazy that it's just such a small amount of space, but that's all you need and it stays together. So hallelujah. Folding that over, making sure it's as even as I can get it, and wipe away that excess glue. And then I'll take my bone folder just to press it down and make sure that glue gets stuck on that very small overlap. So there we have it, and I can show you now that this measures exactly 5 7/8 of an inch, because we only overlapped it 1/8 of an inch here. Okay, hope that makes sense so far. It's a pretty simple project, but you know, I'm really good at over explaining and making things harder on myself. The next step, you're going to take your scoreboard. Disclaimer, mine is super dirty and in need of a bath. Oh well. I'm just trying to get this tutorial out because then I'm also going to be recording the winter loaded bag swap announcement / requirements after this tutorial. So yeah, I forgot what I was saying. I just didn't have time to, you know, make everything all pretty for you this time. Sorry about that. Okay, so you're gonna take your scoreboard and you're gonna take your folded bag here after you glued it together, and you're gonna set it on the 12-inch side on your scoreboard, and we're going to score at 4 inches. See, I really need to clean this out because it's not even letting me score properly. Okay, we scored at 4 inches, and now we are going to fold this up. I suggest folding it this way first because of the way we scored it. Just like so. Okay, so I want to point something out to you. No matter what you do, you're going to have a visible crease. Okay, so you can choose to either have it here on this would be the front tall pocket. You can either choose to have it there, or you can bend your pocket back the other way and fold it down like this, and then your crease is going to be on your front pocket. I know things like that can bug people. I prefer to have it here on my front pocket because if I want, I know I'm going to, in fact, one of the requirements is decorating this front pocket. So I may mat it with another piece of paper. I may, you know, cover it up with trim or something, and I'm not going to see this. So I prefer to have that crease here on that front pocket so that it's easier to cover up. Whereas if it's like this, then, you know, it's kind of just there. That way it's in the back and you can't see it, and this is going to be decorated. Okay, cool. We get it so far? Are you with me? Great. The next step is that you are going to cut 2 pieces of cardstock at 3 7/8 by 2.5. These are going to be our accordion pocket attachments to make that expandable pocket. So like I said, it's 3 7/8 by 2.5. You can use a different pattern paper. You can use a solid color cardstock, whatever your heart desires. I also wanted to, I forgot to say that I do not recommend using 110-pound cardstock. If you're going to use a solid color cardstock, use just a 65-pound weight cardstock because the 110 is just too thick, and for this to be folded and then this to be folded, it's going to be too bulky. So definitely recommend the 65-pound cardstock. Okay, so on our 2 pieces for our expandable pockets, you're going to put it on your scoreboard on the 2.5-inch side, and we're going to score at 1/2 inch. Make sure you score lightly if you're using your metal tool because it's 65-pound cardstock and you don't want it to rip it. And then you're going to score at 1, then at 1.5, and at 2. So you're just scoring every 1/2 inch, from 1/2 inch until 2 inches. You can see it a little better on that side. And we're going to do the same to the other piece. So on the 2.5 inch side, score at 1/2 inch, 1 inch, 1.5, and 2, just like so. Now we are going to accordion fold this. I'm going to get my bone folder, crease my folds well. I want this stripy paper to be on the outside of my pocket, so when you're looking at it from the side, you see the stripes, not the cocoa cups. So I'm going to fold both of these. Like I said, this is a pretty easy project. Hopefully, the other idea I had for the swap was I thought was going to be a little too intimidating, especially with all the Valentine's Day swaps going on right now. I said, let's make it something a little more simple, and then people won't feel intimidated and whatnot. So here we are with this old school loaded bag. Okay, so we have our 2 little pieces right here, right? Like I said, I want my stripy pattern to be on the outside right here, and my pocket's going to go right here. So the most important thing to point out here is that your first point on the tall pocket should be pointing outward. So if you can see that this point here is pointing outward, so you want to glue it like this so that your pocket expands. I hope that makes sense. So just watch what I do. I'm going to add my glue. And I don't want to touch the crease line. I'm coming right above that crease line and right to the very edge of the bag and pressing down like so. So on this side with my the pattern I want on the outside, my first point that I'm gonna glue, the first okay, the first score, the first hinge that I glue here, this point needs to be pointed outward so that it expands. Okay, so I'm gonna add my glue to the side again. I wasn't sure how I was going to explain this part. I was like, that's a little complicated to try to explain. So hopefully you can just see what I'm doing and it won't be a big issue. Okay, I'm going to varnish that down. So now I have my 2 pieces. You can see this first point is pointed out and this first point is pointed out. That way they can expand, the pocket expands when it gets pulled. Okay, so now we're just going to add our glue here to the front little hinges like so. I like to hold them down while I fold this pocket up. Definitely tuck them in there so you can't see. Well, if you see a little bit, it's not going to be the end of the world, right? Use my bone folder. Like so. Okay. Okay, I got some glue here on. You got to be careful about getting glue on your other little hinges. See, I just ripped that, but it's okay. Shit happens, right? Excuse my language. Okay, so there we go. We have our tall pocket here in the back. Like so. If you wanted, you could take your circle punch and do like a half circle to let people know that that is a pocket. And then you have your expandable front short pocket and then your regular front short pocket. And that is it for the base of this project. Like I said, I'm going to show you, we'll do the second version here real quick. I have everything prepared, ready to go. But how easy is that, right? Super simple, and I think it's going to hold quite a bit of stuff. So, let's move on to our second option, which, like I said, I guess this option would be if like you don't have a 12 by 12 sheet of the collection that you're using. If you only have the 6 by 8 pad, you could definitely get your mats from a 6 by 8 pad. So I picked up this plain colored solid colored cardstock from Hobby Lobby last night. It's like a minty green color. I think it goes really nicely, especially with this paper. And we're going to do the exact same thing that we just did. So this one is not going to take as long because I'm not going to sit here and have to explain everything like I did, hopefully. I mean, I'll still go over the basics, but you know what I'm saying. Okay, so we're folding the middle, the left and right sides into the middle, and we want them to overlap only about 1/8 of an inch. That's all they need to stick together, and then that makes your whole bag 5 7/8 inches wide, so we can fit lots of fun goodies inside. Just in case somebody, I guess if somebody chose not to watch that first part and they skipped to this part, I guess I should go over the details, but it should be quicker. So like I said, you can see it overlaps only a small amount, about 1/8 of an inch, and I hope it does all the way down. I think it does, yeah. Okay, I'm going to add my glue here. All you need is that 1/8 of an inch for the paper to be attached to the other side. Look, I messed up. I didn't have it overlapped enough, so it wasn't quite touching. So make sure that you're overlapped in the middle about 1/8 of an inch, like shown here. Get that excess glue out, varnish it down, and then I like to check the measurement and make sure it is 5 7/8 of an inch. Perfect. Now we're gonna get our scoreboard back out on the 12-inch side. You're gonna lay down your now folded and glued together paper, and we're going to score at the 4-inch mark. So because it is essentially 2 layers of paper, I'm scoring quite a few times to make sure it gets all the way through. And then, like I said last time, you can fold it. I recommend folding it forward first, no matter your Well, and really it doesn't matter at all with this version because we are matting here, here, and here. So it really doesn't matter where your crease is because you're not going to see it with the mat. However, I am going to fold it this away so that that crease is on my front pocket instead of the back here. Instead of the front of the tall pocket. It's on the creases on the back, see? And then our mat will cover this up as well. Now, before we go any further, we're going to add our mats. I took the liberty of cutting them and sewing them to give them that extra little sweetness. The mats, if you only folded the paper, you know, 1/8 of an inch over, and you can measure it, and it is at 5 7/8 of an inch, then your mat is going to be 5 3/4 of an inch wide by 7 7/8 inch tall. You're going to need 2 of those. So again, that's 5 3/4 of an inch wide and 7 7/8 inch tall. You need 2 of those, one for the front, one for the back. And then for your front pocket here, you need a piece that is 5 3/4 wide by 3 7/8 inches tall. I'm going to go ahead and glue my mats down. Notice I'm doing the mats before we add the accordion hinges to the front pocket here. That's the main point of me doing the tutorial for this version, is just so that you know you should mat it before you add your accordion pocket attachment things. Okay, so there's the front. Here is the back. Like I said, I don't want any just plain color cardstock loaded bags in my swap. I mean, if you're doing this for anything other than my swap, I mean, go ahead and do the plain colored cardstock, but I would like for the swap to use the pattern paper one way or another. Make it like this with the pattern paper as the base, or use a solid color cardstock and mat with your pattern paper. It just looks nicer, in my humble opinion. You know, I just think it's a little boring to have just the plain color cardstock. Okay, here's our front pocket mat going on. And there we have it. So there's our front short normal pocket. And for your accordion hinges, you need 2 pieces of 3 7/8 inches by 2.5 inches. I used the same plain color cardstock in this minty color from Hobby Lobby to do them this time. And so on the scoreboard, you're going to put it at the 2.5 inch mark, and we're going to score at 1/2 inch, 1 inch, 1.5 inches, and 2 inches. Then you're going to do that to both pieces, okay? So on the 2.5-inch side, just score every 1/2 inch from a 1/2 inch to 2 inches. And that will give you your expandable pocket attachments. Like so. So now, I don't have an eraser to erase this. Well, my eraser just is crap. Hold on. Let me get one, because I don't want that on my pretty project. Really, I'm not going to find an eraser because I'm recording. Of course. Of course. And anybody who has a YouTube channel knows that when you need something, it can never be found while recording. And it's probably right in front of my face. Anyways. Oh, hold on. I do have another set of drawers to check. There's a pencil with no eraser. Perfect. Found an eraser. Okay. Erase that. And erase this. There we go. I'm going to move my dirty scoreboard, and we're going to fold this into an accordion fold. So you go one way and then the other way, and I like to crease it each time I fold it to get those sharp, crisp lines. There's one done, and now we'll do the other. Like I said, just fold one way and then fold back. The other way, crease it down, and lastly, back once again. Okay. Now we are going to glue them on to our loaded bag here. Like I said for the first option, you want the hinge that you glue to the tall pocket. Let's see, am I doing this right? Okay, you want the point to be pointing to the left, right? You want it to be pointing out of the bag, out of the pocket. I'm adding my glue, and I'm staying away from this crease where the pocket is and going just right above that. And I'm staying to the very edge of the bag to make sure I have lots of room in my small pocket as well. You can see that'll do just fine. Now for your other side, the flap that you glue here, that first point that I'm talking about right here, needs to be pointed to the right, pointing out away from the bag. So we're going to add our glue. And you just want to make sure that you glue these right, because if you glue them backwards or upside down or whatever, well, then your pocket won't expand very much. There we go. I'm just going to varnish those down again. And then you can see how when it's pulled, it expands. Sometimes, you know, that's for the visual learners. Okay. Add my glue and fold up my pocket and hold these down at the same time, like so. Just putting some pressure on there and use my bone folder to get that glue nice and spread evenly. And there we have our second loaded, it's a DIY loaded bag. Okay. So I know, like, if you know, back in the day, with Happy Mail, this was one of the big things that they always did, was loaded bags. But they would just use a gift bag from the dollar store or whatever and fold up the bottom to make an extra pocket. This way, we just made one out of a 12 by 12 sheet of paper. So I hope that was easy enough to understand. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. It was simple enough. Only 35 minutes. Woohoo. Definitely know that if you're going to join the swap, you will be decorating the front pocket, and I will post the next video with all the requirements and whatnot for the swap. I hope you will consider joining. It's going to be fun, winter themed swap hosted by yours truly, my second swap. And it's going to be a much quicker turnaround this time. By the way, guys, we're not going to have any issues with Maddie in the hospital this time. Okay, thanks so much for watching. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment down below or reach out to me on Instagram, and I'll be happy to get back with you. Have a great day. Bye.